Hospital porters' pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV. Well, I'm afraid this is yet another HPANWO What the Papers Say. I hope you're not getting bored of them. Last week, of course, I did the Daily Mail and the Sun because they had David Icke in there. If you've seen them, have a look. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen them, have a look. Today, I'm going to do the old current bun again for Monday, the 5th of December, 2011. Now, David Icke's not here this time, but there's another article which caught my eye, which I thought was very, very interesting. I thought I should bring it up and bring it up and discuss it with you. It's this one. I had my legs extended to stop the bullies. Cruel jibes push 4.5-inch girl into risky op. Now, this tells the story of an unfortunate young woman called Sanika Hussain from Bradford. She was born with a condition called hypochondroplasia, which means she'll never ever grow taller than about 4.5 feet. As a result of this, she was bullied in a very, very cruel and nasty way at school by her peers. She's now 21, she's out of school, but she's extremely upset and devastated by how she was treated. She was called dwarf, oompa loompa, you know, shorty, things like that, and it really, really upset her. So as a result, she's having this operation. It's a bone extension operation, limb extension rather. And what they do is they do extend the bone by breaking it, they split it, they stick in these exterior fixators, and I've seen them do it. They just turn a key, and every day, and the bone is pulled apart, and the gap in between where it's been broken fills with what they call myelin or whatever, and it makes it slightly slightly longer. And when it's finished, they can take these exterior fixators out. Now, and this is a very, very high risk operation. It's very painful, it's very debilitating. It's going to be 2 years before she can walk again after she's had it done. But the reason she felt the need to do this was because of the trauma she experienced as a result of being bullied. Now, there's something in this article here, and something which I can relate to in my own life, and I've seen in society in general. And that is that a very obvious question is absent from this article. And I don't know if you can spot it, I don't know if you've already realised what that question is. But I immediately saw it. And the question is, why is it that Sanika, the victim of the bullies, is having to make changes to her life? Very, very drastic changes. She's making herself taller through this very painful operation. She's the victim of the bullies, she's changing her life, herself, so she won't get bullied anymore. Why is it that no one asks the obvious question, which is, why is it not the bullies who are changing their lives? I.e., changing their life so they won't bully people. Why is it the victim of the bullies, who's been changed, has to change their ways in order to stop themselves being bullied? This is what upsets me, and this is what I can relate to my own life. Now, when I was a kid at school, I was bullied too. I mean, not like Sanika was, because I've always been a fairly tall fella, but I was bullied for other reasons. Basically, you know, because I suppose because they could bully me, and so they did. Now, I was sent on a special course at school called Education for Living. Oh my God! Now, there's an Orwellian name for you, Education for Living. And I kid you not, the teacher's name was Miss Blow. So basically, I went through these role-playing games. It wasn't that bad. I got out of class three lessons a week, and they gave me sweets and things like that. You know, but I went on these role-playing games, and the staff taking the course were almost falling over themselves with suggestions of changes I could make to my life so that I wouldn't get bullied anymore. Well, Ben, this is how you should be behaving. This is how you ought to relate to other people, because then if you do that, you will stop being bullied. They will stop bullying you if you do that. Now, I was only about 9 or 10 years old at the time, but a very, very obvious question passed my mind that I was unable to articulate really until I grew up, which was that very thing. Why am I, the one being bullied, expected to make changes to my life? Whereas, one thing I noticed quite regularly in my school, and I don't know if this was deliberate or whether it was just subconscious that the teachers were doing, but bullies basically were not really criticised or really... they were not told that they had to stop bullying, basically. They were not really tackled. And if you were a bully at my school, you could basically get away with it. And there's a very, very stark message here. and I see this in society in general, not just at school, but everywhere. Is if you want to be a bully, that's fine, because bullying is natural, it's normal. You know, it's just, it's a kind of like, I get the feeling that the Illuminati and the Illuminati occupied society is encouraging social Darwinism, and articles like this are a part of that. It's saying, rather like I don't know if you've seen my Charles videos, but you know, it's the law of the jungle, man. It's survival of the fittest. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, man. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Well, I mean, Charles is a bit of a poser, you know, and he just says these things because it makes him look cool, looks superior to other people. But this is exactly what the Illuminati want us to believe. And you see it in other things, such as EastEnders. Now, I've written an article, I mean, I'll put them in the description box. You can read them at your leisure, but I've written several other articles on this subject. One exactly about, it's a kind of like, this film is an extension of that article. But I've written another article called The Grimleys, which is specifically about EastEnders and other television programmes. Now, what I've noticed in EastEnders, well, to put it blunt, I'll give you the details in the article, but briefly, I've noticed that there are certain types of character. Now, one of those is the characters who, for instance, are very, very hard and ruthless and cruel and acquisitive and selfish and aggressive. They're portrayed as very successful. They become very rich, people respect them, women can't resist them, things like that. But there's other types of characters in EastEnders too who are quite they're eccentric and rather sort of like they're eccentrics and don't really fit in, and they tend to be very non-aggressive and inoffensive and gentle people. They're very respectful. Those people are portrayed as losers, and the message is, you know, don't be like them, be like him. Be like them, be like the aggressive ones. And this is everywhere in society, and this article basically makes me think of that. What they're saying is, you know, basically it's a hard, cruel world where everyone is in competition with everyone else. Anyone who's any way vulnerable is basically open season. They're fair game. Whether it's because they're too short, like Sanika, or whether it's for some other reason, just go do it. Because there's absolutely nothing wrong, and there's nothing morally wrong with suppressing and oppressing that person. Because it's their fault for being who they are. It's their fault for being vulnerable. You know, and any form of compassion is portrayed as a fatal weakness. It's seen as weak and unwise, you know, to show any sort of mercy, compassion, caring about other people, respecting other people, not harming someone even if you can, is seen as a fatal flaw in your character. And so I really feel sad here. Now, Sanika, it says here, Sanika is keen to highlight that it was the bullies who drove her to such extreme surgery, and hopes her story will deter youngsters from picking on people with similar conditions. Well, it won't. It won't deter them, because they are not being deterred. They are being encouraged. They're being encouraged by the media and by society in general. So I'm sorry, Sanika, it's not going to discourage them. I mean, it's not my place to judge her, and I think she has to do what she believes is right with her own body and with her own life. But I just wish there'd be an article in a newspaper like this saying, you know, I had to stop being a bully because I was a bully. And it's, you know, for me, any healthy society would do that. Any healthy society would do that. I mean, humans are naturally a cooperative species, despite all the propaganda you might have heard. It's not in our nature to compete, except in sports, in carefully controlled conditions like sports. It's not in our nature to compete within life in general, to fight each other. It's our nature to be cooperative. We're a social species, we're a cooperative species. But the Illuminati want otherwise. Well, we have to show them that that's not going to happen. Well, thank you for watching HPANWO TV. Hospital Porter's Pride and Dignity, stop the New World Order.